today I really wanted to focus on the how-tos and maybe give you a little bit more of a workout to get the movements to do these self-defense techniques. So I have a dear friend who's also a sensei, because he'll know how to take it, with me today to be my attacker. And I brought a crowbar, a hammer, a plastic baseball bat, and several other things just to get you thinking about what it's like to be confronted with something like that. Now, Corey, before we started, was talking about camping, and it was probably about 6 years ago where I decided to shun everyone, turn the phone off, and get to Malibu and camp alone in my favorite place. But during that trip, which was very stressful, there were two gentlemen next to me in the next campsite, and they were hacking a tree down with a hammer. So long story short, 1 a.m. shows up on my campsite with a monolight, the other guy with the hammer. And as the monolight is shining on my face, and I've trained in the darkness, all I can see is that hammer, the weight of the hammer, and that's all I'm watching, because if I see it come forward. And so at that point, I added the hammer to the SHE program, superhero experience for regular women, because I think it was, it's shocking. And it's a hammer and it's a knife, and we see this shiny thing, this heavy thing coming towards our skull or towards our person, and we freeze. And, you know, it's so neat to bring the hammer to regular martial arts events where you see these, you know, women that have trained for 45 years, as soon as they see the hammer come out, they freeze. So this is a universal thing. And it's so amazing to watch all women as they work with the hammer, and the hammer is coming at them carefully, and they're learning the technique. After about 7 to 10 times, they no longer see the hammer. They're no longer scared. And I think that, not desensitization, but you know, that training, the mind training, that if you see even a guy, if you see a hammer coming out, I think it would scare a gentleman too. It's not just us women. So I brought that, and I hope that we can really focus on the movements today of actual defense. We can talk all day long and use the intellectual side. Well, that makes sense, and I know about this, but I want you to know, and I want you to really feel it. And that doesn't come without the mind and the body and the spirit mixing. So today I really want to show you with Sensei Mark some of these movements, and they look, you know, I hear sometimes, oh, of course you can do that, but that's not true. All of us can do this. It's just learning our movements and the physics of the movements and dancing with our opponent. And I don't mean to make light of that, because it could be a life-threatening, you know, experience that you're up against. But hopefully today you'll see, and hopefully some of you will stand and do some of these movements and can feel that maybe you're a little bit more empowered, that you'd be able to handle, you know, 10% of a situation versus 0 before we're done today. So that's what I hope to accomplish with all of you today.
Love it. And I stretched before. I don't know, Kathy.
Oh, right on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I may pop up here and do it with you. I want to say too, Michelle, that what I think, not only are you telling our folks that they can do this too, anyone can do this that's watching, but number two, I think part of this kind of training is really just helping give you the confidence that if something were to happen, you'd be okay. And right. I like to think that hopefully none of this will happen to anyone on this call or watching on Facebook, but then even more so is that everyone feels a little bit more empowered, a little bit more confident to walk around in some type of confrontation or scary situation and feel empowered. I know I have a teenage daughter, and my husband grew up boxing with friends and stuff. And so he got boxing gloves, and he's been at home teaching her how to do things. And I can tell just in her demeanor, right, her kind of confidence, or being able to stand up straight and feel good about it. And I actually I was making fun of them at first because it was really funny to watch them in the basement, but I actually feel better. Like she's now can feel like she can go out and take care of herself. So that's what I'm hoping for everyone who's watching today.
That and that awareness. We've this month, Michelle, since we got together last, we've really focused this month about financial health and mental
social health. We had social health,
and we've done everything. So this is physical health. It's about that awareness of what is around you. And I'm so glad you brought up that men should be paying attention to, because this is not just a gender sensitive session. This is about all of our professionals and other professionals, from school teachers to nurses to everyone need to pay attention to this.
Even our children too, teaching them certain things that we learn even how to get out of a wrist grab, or if someone grabs them from behind with their backpack. And it's fun. For me, it's a science. It's a mathematical situation of this is such and such percentage weight here. What does mine need to be? How low do I need to be under the center line of the other individual that's attacking me? It's, once you really study this, you see the beauty in it. And it is almost about a violent ballet, if you will. And my goal at the end is to actually be off stage, and to escape. So that's the way I look at it.
Yep. I think we're ready, Kathy. Are we ready?
Yes.
Dig in. Let's dig in. Michelle, let's dig in. We're ready to go.
Okay, so I have our assistant here, Max, and he's going to help kind of move the camera around. We're going to be stationary for a little bit, and I want to introduce you to Sensei Mark.
Hey, Mark, do the short
And this
straw.
Sensei Mark. Mark, say hi to everyone. Okay. So while the hair is down, right? And when you see all these, Facebook posts, don't wear hair in a ponytail, don't look at your phone. Oh, for heaven's sakes, you know what I mean? Sometimes I use my phone as a distraction because as I look down, I can see farther in my peripheral. And of course, my soon-to-be attacker doesn't know that I'm aware of him or her. So with the hair, ponytail or not, Mark is going to grab, and it's not just a pull. When this happens in real life, it's the grab and this happening at the same time. So when he grabs my hair and it locks onto his scalp, and he can pretty much, this is terrifying, right? For some women, especially if they've already done this. So one more time. As soon as he grabs, I'm going to lower and I'm going to bite. And so my fingers, they're not the pads. Let's come a little closer. This is digging in here. This is digging up and down, and I'm just going to let's move back. And I'm here, and he feels that. You feel that, Sensei?
Yes.
Okay. So as I dig, and I'm bringing it to my scalp because the way hurts. Here I have more control. My elbows are in, and I'm really low, and I can go either way. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to turn, and I'm going to. And he goes down. We're going to do that one more time. Nope. Okay. So the key is knowing where the wrist is. So I'm bending the wrist and I'm keeping it, do you see this? To my head. And this is what I'm doing. And eventually he has to come down or go, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so that's the hair technique. It's just, I'm going to go fast but not hard. Just let go. So that's what it looks like in real time as you're biting. And in Hawaiian, this is the shark bite, right? The nails go in. Are you going to give a close up?
Oh, yep, that happened. I hope, we're going to buy Mark lunch today, right, Kathy? I feel like we should.
Yeah.
We're going to go over
Or some
soft tissue
Band-Aids.
now. Are you cut?
No.
I'm trying
Okay,
not
I
to.
heard Band-Aids.
Trying not to have
Okay.
a facial reaction.
Another really great weapon for the women is just a hair pick. So I'm going to put my hair up.
I'm worried about him.
I am too.
You're worried about it?
No, about him.
Oh, he's going to be fine. Okay. So any type of confrontation, do anything you want. Okay. Well, we're going to go over the rear choke in a minute. No, go ahead. I'm going to use my chin. I can use anything here. I'm going to use my chin, open him up. Right, soft tissue, going down into the armpit, rotating, coming back up. These are some of the things you can do with a hair pick. As well as, remember that tactical pen we talked about? That's glass shattering. Yeah, that works. It's wonderful. So, shoulder. Okay. So again, soft tissue. Right here, coming down, coming to the groin, coming into his eye, if you have to. There's also the wrist grab. So this is just a regular pen. Hey, I'm gonna dig this into his wrist, and from here I can shoot to the groin.
No cup.
Okay, I apologize. No cup. Okay, that was outside. Now I'm gonna come inside. So it's the turning of the wrist. And locking, shooting straight up. So not wasting any time. Breaking, shoot up and run. The goal is
Michelle,
always to get away.
can you show us that one a little bit slower, how you turn that
Sure.
wrist that way?
So,
Got it. Okay.
okay, and then inside. Yes, Kathy.
I was just going to say what I'm gathering from this, and I just want to make sure everyone's clear. Don't hold back, right? I mean, if you feel this threatened, and this is pretty serious. I mean, when you say soft tissue and all that, but the point is, if you're being attacked, go for it.
Yeah, you have to. And I think us women are we're trained to not look crazy, right? We're trained to go, I don't care. I will scream, I will yell, I grunt and growl actually when it's on. There is no right way to look when you're defending yourself or your family, professionally or in a social situation.
Grunt and growl are my words for the day.
I'm telling you.
We need a new
Okay.
shirt with that one on it. Grunt and growl, writing it down.
So some of these things, such as credit cards, right, can be a really good, so you stick it in your wallet and you can't really tell. But thank you, Max.
Mhm.
But we can cut the end of it, and this ends up becoming a weapon. Your hands have to be strong though, so this is why we work just our hands. So when holding it, the hand is like this, and we're just making somewhat a fist, and this slides in nicely. So when we do this, and Mark comes, block, and this is a cut. Okay, I don't think they can see. There's a cut and a cut.
Okay.
So you can see this is going for the actual skin. So, sometimes it's not even it's a stinger. It's a stinger to distract so that you have a millisecond to do something else and get away. This is not going to be the end all kill you shot, right? That doesn't work on the street. Well, guess what? Oh, buy me a second. Is that worth it? Absolutely. So there's the regular cut of an older, card that can be used, as well as, if you prefer, a hooking type. So cutting that out and keeping that in your wallet and being able to use that to strike. So that's an idea of a weapon. Thank you. So most of us have keyless start now, but if you do have a key, you can go ahead and place that in between, just like you're holding a fist, which all of you know. But I think if you have more than one key, you're really going to hurt yourself. They move, and I wouldn't suggest it at all. But this is, if you have one, to be able, again, to strike to the soft tissue, maybe even into the armpit, riding up. So as women, we need to remember we don't stop at our target. We go through. So if I go here, I want to shoot up to the ceiling. I want to go through my target. Otherwise, I'm ineffective. It's basically patty cake. What I need to do is inhale and exhale. That's what I need to do, is go through. Okay,
that's a stopping point too. Don't you agree, Corey? That's a go through. I mean, that's a big point.
Yeah. And I think you said earlier too, Michelle, lower. I like the lower.
Yes.
Because I'm sure like when your energy is going, you might tend to get your adrenaline's going, you might get up a little bit. You need to lower down so that you can use your, well, in my example, my COVID-19 hips and waist, you can really use that to get into action, right?
Yes, and that's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this now.
And see, if you're shorter, I've always felt like I was at a disadvantage for height, but now
No, you're closer to the ground. You have an advantage.
Oh yeah,
That little spiral that you do, oh my gosh, it's way better. Because look, Mark, can you just go ahead and do a light push? I'm standing straight up. Mark, go ahead and do light push. Look at the difference.
Boom.
And she's got on heels.
She does.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this too, is she's in a dress and heels. So she didn't come in a workout gear or in a whatever. She's looking like we would look at an open house. I love it.
Okay, so now we've got the lanyard. And this is just a swinging mechanism. So if he's coming and I sense trouble, I'm gonna start to hit him. So that is, the screaming too, we're told to be quiet, but as you scream like in karate or any other martial arts, there's the ki, right? Or it's some sort of external verbal that your energy's coming through. I'm not that serious, and my art is very stealthy and quiet, so we don't. What you hear is breath. But if someone was attacking me, I would make noise. I would scream. And so that's the difference between traditional martial arts as well as to the self-defense on the street. You better believe I'll be making noise. So that's the lanyard. Same way.
Yeah, and Michelle said it too, as women, we've always been taught to be a little bit quiet and a little bit docile, right? And so you've got to scream and then ask questions later or apologize later if you have to, right? If it was a mistake and you weren't being accosted, at least you can apologize later, but scream and have at it. I really hope that someone is screen capturing Kathy and I's face on this. It'll make for a great image later. Keep going, Michelle. Keep going.
It's going to be your next annual event, Kathy, with all of her multiple expressions. So last month we talked about the charging cord, right? And being able,
That's dangerous.
That's dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the charger portion, and it acts the same, you know. Listen to that. So it's and to go ahead and double it, the same thing. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
I didn't realize how strong they were, Michelle, until last time, and I went home and grabbed mine, and they are strong.
So I'm gonna whip that. I know, I love it. So I'm gonna whip Mark just a little bit here. So
Mark, bless your heart. Right. Just bless your heart. What a man.
I'm gonna show this quickly here. From my 2 o'clock, like we've got a clock, right? 2 to 8 and 10 to 4. So you notice I'm not just doing this. It's not just the arm. It's the whole body. And the way we practice that, maybe sitting in your 90 degree horse and coming from 2 o'clock to 8, 10 to 4. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So every time you are going to strike, you want to make sure that you're exhaling and bringing your power to your designated target. And it's not just here. Your whole body, as women, we are so, and men too, we're humans, right? We're all made the same way. Practicing this. So in your workout, making sure you're loose and tight and shifting.
See?
So 1 and 3. Yes, Kathy?
I've been doing my Simply Fit board, not knowing that it was preparing me to open a can of whip ass.
That's what I was doing, Kathy and Michelle. There's something to these workouts. So we all do something a little different. I know some of our friends do Zumba and some of us do yoga, but that's all strength building, right? And so
absolutely
what Michelle's doing here, and you keep building that strength with upper body and lower body, and then you're more prepared again to do something like this if you have to.
Yeah, right. Seriously, that Simply Fit is exactly the move she was just doing.
So also, you know, being prepared with the same thing. It's that same move, right? And that's your belt. Covering their face. This is my belt. I just took it off. This what you have. You use it, right? I mean, exhale. You want to, you know, punish whoever's trying to hurt you. You know, on a more advanced level. Mark, you can lower it. Thank you. So Mark's gonna come, we're gonna walk in really slow. This is advanced moves, but I want to show you what you can do with a belt other than just scream. Because normally I would, right? That's what it would sound like for me. That's top of crazy right there. He comes in, want to hit that, hit here, come. This wraps around.
Yes, choke him.
And then I can take him down from here. So, sorry about that. That's a more advanced move, but you know, that's something we can get into in the future. But it's not just the belt. It works with the charging cord too. So that's that would be the whipping type of weaponry that you can use. I think we're going to get on the floor now. I'm going to show you what it's like to use your shoes.
Okay, while you're doing that, Michelle, I have to say, Kathy, I've got several teammates and our friend Casey Greer who are making fun of me in my face right now. They're texting. She's so good. Michelle, you're so powerful and so strong. And I can't, this is really exciting.
But you know what, Corey, not only is she powerful and strong, but it's so practical. It's not like I feel like I've got to go get my
10th degree black belt.
Yeah,
I don't need it.
Thank you. Yeah.
No.
I've got a friend that just texted me and said, you need to stop. You're learning too much.
Never. And like I said last month, don't talk about this. This is private, quiet time for yourself, this training. You say, oh, I took this on. There's always some moron that comes up, even though we love this moron. Oh, what did you learn? What about when you do this? And ultimately it deflates what we've learned, because we didn't learn everything in this hour, right? This is just the basics. This is just an example to open your mind to what you can do. And you don't have to have training for 20 years, 30 years, 40. It's about all of us being able to access that power. And actually the action energy you see more from the males. When we've been told as women not to access that, and maybe honestly we've experienced in maybe an abusive way, so we fight emotionally to feel, embrace, use, and focus, to be comfortable with that. Because we're human, we have the spectrum of energy. There's no reason why we can't go over here to the action energy and be and do. It's part of us as, overseeing everything as females. So did you want to say something, Corey?
Yeah, Michelle, you had said SHE training earlier. There was an acronym for SHE. What was that again?
A superhero experience. It's gimmicky, but it works. Everyone shows up in their superhero, supervillain, costumes, leg warmers, little tutus, and they really go for it. We work with pool noodles, learning how to breathe, not hold your breath, not blink, feeling that air coming at you and sustaining just a small. Some women have never really had contact, so they freeze up, where we have to desensitize to that and understand, like when Mark pushed me when I was standing straight up versus when I really grounded, learning that, becoming one with earth and learning how to use that in the physics. So yeah, Kathy?
My question is, like when he pushed you, that was obvious. My question is the danger of hesitation. Can you talk a little bit about that, about if you, just trusting that gut, and not that you want to open up on somebody that's not attacking you, but let's talk about the danger of hesitation, because I think about that.
We put ourselves in further jeopardy. We have to be prepared. And that is seeing something, and this would be a perfect time, now that I'm all sweaty, to have Mark roll on me as far as a rear choke. So the difference is to show, start down. Okay, go ahead and do the choke. If I wait until he gets here, I'm in trouble. He has full range of my throat, which then I can't breathe. Go ahead. But when I see this come around my peripheral and I drop my chin, he does not have access to my airway now. So here, and I'm digging, and then this is biting. And this is coming down, and I just want to get away. Woo! So, that's the difference, is not that split second. Sorry, Mark.
It's okay. I'm okay.
That split second of hesitation, and you lose an opportunity to save yourself. Another example.
Now, when you say biting, you're talking about your nails. You're not talking about actually biting.
No, that's much later. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm talking about biting with your nails.
Okay.
Hesitation. Hammer.
It's a hammer.
Here, let's walk it a little bit next. Thank you. Okay. So he comes in, I lower. If he comes, let's see, he can't see the weapon. There we go. So slowly, if I wait till here and go, oh my God, a hammer, I'm gonna get hammered. As soon as I see his elbow, not even the weapon, the elbow move, I need to move. I need to move, and then I need to run. So
yeah, she just did a solid impression of me, Kathy, like, oh my God, a hammer. I'm pretty sure that's my reaction. This is good.
Side, if I wait and say, oh my God, all that energy he's throwing comes straight to the end and hits me. But what if I intersect it because I react on in time? What happens then? So there's always follow-up too. Us women follow up. We call people, hey, how you doing? Did you like that? How did that go? Just checking on you. So this is a checkup. Finishing it. We don't just take it away and run. What if there's more than one? What if there's more than one Mark? maybe with a weapon. We have to think about these things.
Okay, so the biting, like if they're behind you, I'm going to be dangerous, Corey. The nails, that's the biting. But what I see you're doing is on those attacks coming towards you, you're using this part of your arm, not your hands, right?
Yes, no, never my hands. We think of this rod as a steel rod. This is what we strike with. This is what we block with. Metal. Mark, can you go ahead, put your guard up? He's gonna hold tight. He's gonna do that to me now. What, do it? Okay, now I can shoot. Now I can shoot straight for his face. He pushes, I come. So it's that back and forth dance. I do this and I get out, I run. Always get away, that's the main moral of the story. Not to sit here and box him, right? Yeah, these are all options and they're beautiful.
So this is
if you have an opening, but yeah.
Wow.
I know, Kathy, you're gonna have to go. The other thing, okay, so the other thing that I'm really paying attention to is Michelle's constantly watching. And you said earlier to look down at your phone because you can see your periphery, but you're watching, like the arms go forward, you're just constantly watching.
So yeah, you have to, any sort of movement. And so when I look at a gentleman, it's not at the knife, it's not at his eyes, I look right here. If you focus on someone right here, Mark can go ahead and do this. Even though I'm looking here, I can see all of what he's doing. I can see if a knee is coming up. I can see something drop from his hand. I can see him make a fist. So there's a lot that you can see when you focus in here and you train your peripheral. So yeah, it's ever watchful. Always.
Man, I'm sweating. I haven't moved. I'm sitting there.
Too, so.
Mark, how are you doing? Are you doing all right, Mark? You're good? Okay.
Okay, so another tool would be the portfolio or even an iPad. So Mark can come in and I can, and it's the elbows again, Corey. It's not just the arms and the wrist. It's the elbows leading that wave of energy. Yes. There's things you can, but go ahead, and this is walking. There you go. So this can serve as a blocking mechanism too.
Okay. Michelle, this is an example of there are dumb questions.
Oh, sorry, we broke the knife. Sorry, Corey, what'd you say?
This is an example of there are dumb questions, but you have not yet used a kick or a foot or a knee. Not at all.
No.
Nope.
But
okay.
what I will use is my high heels in a moment.
Okay,
I will use those now. So
yeah, I'm gonna bring my high heels back. My high heels are back and belts are back.
So Max is holding the camera. If you could shoot our feet, that would be great. So Mark gets me in a choke. And then as soon as I can't see, I'm starting to not be able to breathe and I need to feel. So I'm feeling. And that is going to drop right into his foot. Yeah. And as it drops into his foot, he lets go and I'm able to get away. There's also this move. Just coming straight up to the groin, kicking, 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 kicking. And it's more of a hook kick. Hook, hook. So that's using the legs. I don't believe if you're not trained in kicks or the anatomy of the lower half of the body, you might end up hurting yourself. And that takes practice too, being able to, right, the balance.
Yeah. Okay. Hook
that's
kick.
more hula moves, right? Being able.
Yeah.
Okay. But again,
that sort of thing.
Again, Corey, I'm excited about this because I think a lot of what you're talking about goes back to yoga and a lot of things that we're already doing that we may have better balance than.
Well, yeah, strength, it looks like a lot of strength and balance, right? And perception. And I'll say that like a lot of folks who are doing yoga get that perception, that feeling of like, bringing it into your core and then doing a move or something like that. And I see a lot of that in what Michelle's doing. So.
Okay. We're going to take it to the floor now. I'm going to get knocked down And so hopefully,
I don't think I can take
I
it.
got- oh, no.
Is it the floor or?
I don't know if I
you're
can-
killing everyone, Max. It's like, woo! Okay, so you can just put it on the floor.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Like here?
That's
Okay.
perfect.
All right.
And so I'm gonna get knocked down here. And I'm gonna, with my heels, I'm gonna do a bicycle. Ah! And so this takes a core strength, because if you're too weak and you're down here and you can't turn, that's gonna be a problem. But if you train, if you really wanna come in on that. No, there's also this. He does try to come in. And we so you got your shoes as well, not just your legs. So to practice this as your workout,
Yes.
using the heel as the striking point, not your toes. Max, we can bring it back up. I'll show the shoes and the hands.
And again, through, not just to, but
All the way through.
Real.
Yep. So, in the Hawaiian culture, we talk about hina, the feminine, and ku, the masculine. So the feminine would be practicing this as hula, right? The potential energy, the coiled energy, the ku. Transforming in the same spectrum, the feminine potential, ready to explode ku. So that is what we're doing here. That bicycle you just saw, potential ku, potential ku, potential ku. Hina ku, hina ku, hina ku. The setup and the hit, the setup and the target. That's what you're working with, that's the physics of this, the energy. So we broke our knife. So I think Mark can use a stick. And this is for men too with your loafers. So the easiest way to do it standing would stick your hands inside your shoes. And this is the portion that we'll pick up.
Starting with your
So you can see it's the blocking. This is picking up so it doesn't hurt your hand. You're actually using your shoe. Now if I flip that.
Mark's going down.
I know Mark is gonna get hurt. I can't get hurt.
I lost my shoe. Okay.
I'm exhausted.
So that is.
And I also
that's how
realized you can't buy the cheap high heels like I would. You have to buy like the real high heels. Because mine the back would pop off. So buy the ladies, get your high heels out and buy the nice ones.
We can do the kitten heels. Those are so cute, right? Those are, you put hands in, and even loafers. I mean, men can use their loafers and gym shoes.
If I ever start
Yeah,
wearing
gym shoes are great. And that's how you practice when you're working out. So different moves like that, not just this.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
Okay, so I think one of the last defenses we'll show is with a stick. Actually, Max, would you go get the broom for me?
Oh, sure.
It's in there. Okay, so Mark's gonna come now with, you see this a lot, same, if he was to use a golf club as well, let's do that one. So let's come to the side. As soon as he comes in, I need to block that again, Corey.
Yep.
Here. And I'm gonna take hold of this. Elbow, grab, hit. So what I just did was a full circle.
Do that again. I want that in slow-mo. Do that one again.
Yep.
Now, in real life, he may not let go. So I want you to hold it really tight. Let's get closer to the camera. Right here. Go ahead and hold it tight. Just hold it tight. The tighter they hold, the better. What contrary to what we thought, right? Watch his hand. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep a small circle, small circle, small circle until he has to let go. So this is the move. Let's try something else. Let's try this. I'm gonna show it close. So I wanna go against the hand. I wanna roll it here, keep my hands close. Hands close. He has to let go. Now, if we could do a jab with this. We're gonna do slow. I'm gonna step out of the way, whichever way you wanna go, inside or outside. I'm focused on this butt end here. I wanna dive this like a dolphin tail around his arm and take it from him. So Corey again,
Yep.
not the arms,
Yep.
elbows drawing it down.
Mhm.
That is the move, not just this. Thank you, Mark. Let's try one more time. I'm gonna go inside this time. In. Focused on this end. Wanna wrap it around, wrap it around. Go through. Thank you.
And I
Okay,
like
we're
it
trying-
because you got the weapon and then you hit him with it.
Run.
Don't give him another
Run,
chance
run.
to get it back, right?
That's right.
I was going to ask that. And that's a good point, Corey. I mean, go ahead and whack them a couple of times.
That's right. Punish them a little bit. Disable a little bit so you can get away. That's the whole goal.
Yeah.
There's gonna be probably some people that watch this and say, well, that won't work. Well, you know what? Every situation is different. If you have some tools and you remember them and you practice them and you remember at the time an incident's occurring, use them. There isn't one right way to do anything. We all move the same. And when we practice these, they become second nature. And that's really what it's about.
I also think too, Michelle, like when I'm looking at you grabbing different weapons and things like that, once you start looking at your surroundings, and I think you talked about this in a previous town hall, that you start looking at your surroundings, you start becoming familiar with the things around you that you could use if you need it. See?
That you never really thought of. Good job, Corey. I'm
Thank
telling you.
you.
We just need to get in the mindset of what could we reach for,
Mhm.
especially if we're not trained as boxers and strikers, because I don't want to go to the ground. If I have to, I will. But, that just goes to say that what we practiced upright, we should know how to do on the ground too. So, that's a concept that's not talked about very much. And if you do work on the ground, like I just did the bicycle, talk about amazing aesthetic physical benefits. Your obliques start to show, your glutes. I mean, it's a great exercise to do as far as if we want to look fit and look good, not just self-defense. There's a beautiful secondary benefit to all of this in our body. Really embraces, like, thank you for preparing me to do this.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, Michelle, the strength, I mean, a lot of why I work out is because of just being able to have the strength, right? Just to be able to help my husband carry a dresser up the stairs, or just to feel strong enough that I can kind of help do stuff. And this kind of like workout is just, again, getting that strength, the lower body strength, the arm strength, and feeling confident in that. Kathy, you were going to say something.
Well, and I was just going to say, one thing about that too is as we age, and I witnessed this in my parents, is that core strength gives you balance. When you're a lot older, I start to think about that now. So there are a lot of benefits. But the thing I love about this, and I say this joking, I always say I don't run. I really don't. If I did, it would not be fast. The reason I like continuing this is because I know if they came after me, they would catch me. So this is not meant to be an assault on someone. It's meant to be, they need to go down long enough to get away, whatever that looks like.
And
That's
I think
right.
So Sarah had a question too in the chat, and then Michelle, I'd love for you to kind of give your thoughts on this, but she said, at what point does self-defense turn into assault? I think, actually, I'll just throw that up to you, Michelle. What do you think?
It's different too. Like someone with my background should absolutely know the difference between proportionate and excessive force when it comes to defending yourself. Location is always an issue in different states. Is it in your home? Are you out in public? Is it at the workplace? How imminent was the actual danger? Was it in fact justified that you responded this way because you felt that your life was threatened? Was your response in proportionate reaction to the actual perceived assault? So, there's a lot of factors in play. The best is to just get away, suppress and get away. Unfortunately, like when I first started my training with my late teacher, wasn't even self-defense, it's the cultural art. And, I had to ask myself, because I had resistance to learning the knife takeaway. Why? Because it's battlefield tactics, ancient, and he was teaching us to take the knife in your opponent's hand and slice themselves 3 times before they even hit the ground. I thought, oh dear God, why am I going to use this? I'm not going to use this. And then one day I had a vision of a man standing at my daughter's doorway, and something just said to me in the spirit, pay attention, learn this. Don't think you're never going to use it. Use it, learn it. Stop resisting, and it's there if you ever need it. And so I had to have call myself on my own BS, which is often, right? We all have to do that, and say, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. You don't know if you're able to need this or not.
And
Yeah, I would say, oh, sorry, Kathy. I would say too, the reason why we're doing this, again, just to reiterate, is we just want our folks to stay safe. We just want our real estate professionals to stay safe. I don't want to say err on the side of, but I know for me, I tend to be cautious and polite and diplomatic and non-confrontational. And if you're ever in a situation, I think you do the best you can to get away, and then we'll deal with the repercussions later if you went a little too far. It's just about your safety. Kathy.
well, and what I appreciate about Michelle's response to that is, keep in mind she's also an attorney. So that was a very well thought, thank you for that, you know, to say it depends on where you are and that kind of thing, but don't overthink this, right? Just take care of yourself. If someone is attacking you, defend yourself, period. Now, having said that, can we go over the soft tissue one more time? Because I was
Kathy and I are going to hydrate while you do it.
I do want to show Kathy before we go to, what'd you say?
I'm sweating. I'm just
I am too, trust me.
sweating.
I wanted to show, you know, the common sweeping. So maybe Max, if you could maybe come back out here a little bit, that would be great. Okay, so you know, just the regular sweeping motion, right? We're just sweeping. This turns into this move. So if Mark comes in, so remember, follow up. Okay, so just the sweeping. So think about that the next time that you're sweeping the house. Start practicing.
And Michelle, you adjusted your hands, right? It looks like one of them went a little lower so that you had more leverage almost. Yep, okay.
And so, you know, if Mark comes with an overhead, I can easily switch. If your hands are the same way, the weapon can be taken away too. So we want to have better control. If it's like this and I hit Mark, he may hit it so hard it falls out of my hands. So flipping your hands this way and this way, and using again the elbows, Corey.
Yep.
Shooting from the rib cage. It's not the arms. It's and it's coming all the way up and out. So that's what we're doing is the elbows. Same with the punch. Same with the block.
Yep.
Same with the spear. All of that. So that's the broom and sweeping. I wanted to show you that so you can have a new appreciation for working. It's a paddle in the Hawaiian culture, right? So the broom. Thank you, Max. Mark, is there anything you think we should go over?
There's a question in there about how do you defend if they have a charging cord? I think that's the question. Is that how you're reading it, Corey?
Yeah, or even like maybe a rope or something. I mean, if they're using that kind of weapon against you.
So that would be, you know, I think everyone's under the illusion that when you get into a violent situation, you're not going to get hurt. You will. You will have bruises, you will have scrapes, you might see and feel warm blood. It might be yours, it might be your opponent. It's something to think about so you don't cognitively freak out during an incident, that you decide that you're going to keep going. So if Mark had the charging cord, you can do it long or short. I'm going to get whipped. I'm going to get hit, and I have to take it so I can get inside. So take it. So there's different things you can do. Go ahead and whip. Eventually I come in. I time it. It's like jumping rope, right? This is the flower in Hawaiian, the hula flower. This is the block. So Mark, can you throw maybe hook punches? Yeah. Go ahead, other side. Other side. So you see the flower at work. You see this, and again, Corey, again, elbows, right? Elbow up, down. Guess what? This is also, go ahead and stay. This, not just a block, it's also a vertical and dropping vertical elbow. And that is this in the hula, right?
Wow.
So you've got the feminine, the striking, you've got the masculine. Again, going through. Vertical you saw, there's also rib shots. So again, getting lower, practicing this. Look, my face looking forward.
Yeah.
Look at how low she is. See?
Yes, very low in heels. It's actually
balance again. She's got the balance.
So it takes time. And we did that yesterday in class with the women. Hold your knee up, bring it out. Hold your knee up, bring it out. Hold it up, bring it all the way back. And stay. This allows you to do certain kicks, the chambering. So you're able, they don't know what you're throwing. Usually in other arts, you see this coming from behind, right? So it's very concealed.
Okay. Okay.
So Mark Pesson, our other Mark, can I see your face and ask you a question?
Yes, please.
I am so excited, and I'm sure you've been doing what Corey and I are doing. We're reading the chat line, and I'm so excited, and I'm so impressed with the practicality and just the common sense logic behind everything Michelle has shown us. Is there any way we can do some kind of continuous? I don't want to let her go, Corey. I think this is just too important. This is not a one and done.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there was a way, Michelle, that we could work with you to include some of your training in our one university for our agent population, I think that would be incredible. I mean, there's just so much that you've taught us here today in just a short amount of time that our agents could use and probably watch again and again and learn from. And I'd love to find a way for us to be able to collaborate with you.
I would love that. Wonderful. There's so much to show.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I know. And it's just, I don't want to forget it. It's very practical, and it's, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, I don't know if we could, Corey, do a pre-con.
Well, what I was going to ask too is they're jumping in, and Michelle, you're getting so much love in our chat line. People
Oh, thank you.
blown away by you. I teach my daughter every day that you can be beautiful and strong at the same time, and you are the epitome of that. So thank you. But then also beyond, I think you would be, what do you recommend for our folks out there? Strength training. We found several tools that these guys can go out and get today. Make sure you've got that cut credit card in your wallet. Make sure you've got your cord and your Padfolio with you. What else do you recommend, Michelle? What would be practical for people kind of starting out who want to get stronger, who want to feel confident? What would you recommend?
Well, I mean, definitely the movements in which we did today. So moving off to the side really quick, moving off to the center line. This is the center line when someone comes down and they're coming straight at you. Just practice. We could even do Whip It Good is a good song. No, and you turn it on and you just start dancing, right? And these are all
she's dancing. 1 minute she's kicking Mark's butt, the next minute she's dancing.
But it's true. Turn on the music, feel that energy going, and start to work your elbows, just as a dance. And then start.
And I would think, Michelle, can you do a little role playing, like a little practicing with a spouse or a partner? I mean, I'm excited to try this out on my
Absolutely. Yeah. Have them grab you.
Mark has no idea what he's in for.
Oh, yeah.
Moving back and forth. Go
Yep.
feel that. Do you need to get lower? What can you do in here? What can you do? Try to find that way of doing something, encountering. So it's a great exercise. Mark will do something, I can do something back, and just get that feel of how you dance.
Okay. I love it.
Core.
Stretching. Let's get strong. Yep, we need to get strong. We need to be confident. We need to be alert. We need to be watching, right?
Awareness.
Stretching.
Okay. Stretching.
Yes.
Somebody's saying
thumbs, right?
I'm exhausted. Somebody's gonna have to close out this session. I can't.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Michelle, one of the highlights of this entire session, I must tell you, besides all the training, has been watching Kathy and Corey's reactions to what you're doing. I think they've just been stunned by the ferocity of what you've done, but I think it's been very valuable. So thank you for sharing this with us.
Even though we're laughing, and again, I hope somebody screenshotted that, but you know what? I think that I could be wrong, Michelle. I don't think a lot of perpetrators, offenders expect you to fight back, right? So I'm hoping that if you show a little intensity, if you do, what did grunt and growl, if you do those kind of things, they might be like, this is more than I bargained for. I was looking for the helpless, the shy, the not gonna come back at me.
You got it. Absolutely. As soon as they see some sort of psychotic crazy, they whoa, okay, yeah.
Oh, Kathy and I can do psychotic crazy. We can do that, right, Kathy? Got that nailed.
We got the grunt and growl.
Right on. I'm gonna make shirts.
But Corey, what a great point is they're not anticipating that. They're not anticipating a response.
Yeah. The one thing I learned from this, I mean, there were so many. I'm going to go back and watch it again. The one thing I learned is to fight and fight and fight and just
Never give up.
fighting, right? Don't, somebody had said, when do you fight and when do you run? I think you fight until you feel like that danger is not there. I'm like Kathy, you turn and run your backs to somebody, I'm afraid they're going to come right back. So what I learned today is fight, push all the way through.
Push through.
Yep.
That through, not to. I really like that.
Well, I know what we're going to do for our next team builder at Realty One Group. I am pretty excited about that.
I am so sorry. I got to chime in here. I got to tell you something. I'm not trying to make light of this at all, but I swear this was the best comedy hour I've had in a long time watching Kathy and her facial expressions. Oh my goodness sakes. I hope Dan will post those because he got some and so did I, Kathy.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Michelle.
I can
For
never
giving
give a happy
Kathy the
hour
expressions we've never seen before.
Yes.
Well,
Michelle, I'm going to have my kiddos watch this tonight.
I was
Like
just
said,
going to say the same thing.
Teaching my daughter, my teenage daughter, to be strong and beautiful. Michelle, you just are amazing. I'm so grateful. The first time we were so grateful to have you. The second time to come back, you're so busy, and I can't thank you enough. I'll let Kathy and Mark kind of wrap it up. But just from me to you, Michelle, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this has been tremendously valuable. I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us again. Like, we can't thank you enough for coming back and doing this with us again. It's one of the things I have preached to my wife and my daughter is that women are strong and women need to be able to defend themselves in any situation. I've taught my daughter from a young age that she should be able to kick a grown man's ass. And I firmly believe that all women should be able to do that if they have the need to do so. So thank you for being the example of that. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you, Mark. But I think it's the women that need to give themselves permission to do this.
I agree.
I don't think that women feel that they have the right to make a scene or to fight for themselves. But it's the irony of this is that, in some of the she's, I use the vision of closing your eyes, holding your most dearest in your mind, a picture of their face, picturing them in a situation and how you would rush in and save them. And then I have them, the students, the participants, put their face in their mind and put in the same situation. And it's very, very sad because 100% of the time they would not go in and save themselves, but they will for their loved one. So, it's that psychosis that we harbor in our programming. We are allowed to protect ourselves and our loved ones, ourselves primarily. I mean, it's like, airplane, masked first, right? Then masked. Why don't we as women allow ourselves to do that? So,
when you think
a very deep question.
And when you think about it, you're protecting yourself so that you can be there for your family and your loved ones too, right? So
That's right.
That's correct.
You're still doing it for them. So.
And what an honor, like, in the ancient Hawaiian culture, you would die on the battlefield because you knew you were protecting the others. It was your duty. And, we were talking about duty earlier, and it's just, is it professional, personal, or social? And we really need as women to understand, are we giving our personal duty, kuleana, to our workplace, and it doesn't need to be there, or to socially, our friends set, our acquaintances, out in public with strangers, and does that cause an imbalance? Because then pretty much everything is 100% black and white. And we really need to make that distinction of, we are 100% black and white. Yes, we're going to do it. No exceptions at all times. We don't have to be perfect. Just meet yourself where you're at and continue. We're whole where we are, but we can always be better. So, when that time comes, if it comes, and hopefully it doesn't, you're ready with all the tools on your tool belt. Reach for it if you need it. It's not going to be perfect. You might get hurt, but that's what we are here to do, is protect ourselves. And there might be some collateral damage.